Welcome to another episode of Just Be Handy. Today we're going to fix a flat tire on this three-wheeler. The inner tube has a bad cut in it, and we will just remove the wheel and then replace the inner tube. What I usually like to do is to use two screwdrivers. Always make sure you get the cap off so that it'll be easier to remove. And then you basically take one of the screwdrivers and try to get it in there and peel it back, as you see there. And once that gets started, then you take another screwdriver and you just work it around. And just keep working them around and pulling up on it, and then you'll eventually get it out, and you'll do that all the way around. And I'll keep going around this side, and then I'll show you what to do with the other side. Wanted to show you how easy it gets once you get it started. See, it just keeps coming off like that, and then pops right out. Then we'll get the inner tube out and then start to go with the other side. So here we go. We'll pull this through. You can push it and then pull a little harder on it to get it all the way out. And you have to be careful when you're working with these plastic wheels, because they don't take very well to things scratching. I don't have plastic tools to do this kind of work, so I'm just using regular old tools here. Now, you don't have to take the whole tire off, because this tire is in good shape, so I'll just go get, there's a little rip here, but it really seals here. I'll go get the new inner tube and get that in there, and then we'll look and see how that goes. Now, what I'm using is this bicycle tube, 16-inch, and it'll cover 16 by 1.75 or 16 by 2.125. And this tire, as you can see, is a 16 by 2.125. And here is the inner tube. This was really good price on Amazon. I'll put a link to that if you're interested. As you can see, it's a really good rubber. It's got a new stem that comes with it, new cap. So what you do then is find out where it was and get the cap off. Kind of move that back and then try to get it going in here. Put that in, and then just basically feed this all the way around the best you can and quickly. So really, bicycle tires have been easy to do since the inception of the bicycle, and this is really the quickest way to do it without having to take the wheel off. Thankfully, because this is not totally like a regular bicycle where you have the shaft going through and you can't get it off of one side. So you can just stuff this in there like that, and then you start working it around. This is so easy. You can start working some of it around with your fingers to get it started. Just kind of hold it there, and then I'll put the cap down. Once you get it to a certain point, you will start to need tools. So let me get it going a little bit more. You always make sure you're stuffing it. Sometimes you could use something like Windex as a lubricant to help you with it. But for the most part, should be able to get most of it all the way around by your fingers. And then the last bit, you might need to use tools, but this was so easy, not a problem. And I'll inflate it here in just a second and show you what it's like. Okay, when you go to inflate it the first time, always grab onto the stem, kind of put a index finger on it. I'm going to do that from underneath, and just give it some air. Just make sure it's seated before you fully do that. Make sure there's nothing popping out on either side. Again, put your index finger out. See, they kind of have that little white mark to make sure you stick it out that far. There we go. And then just give it that feel with the finger. It should be tight. And basically they say to inflate to 36 psi, and we'll check that in a second. We're gonna have this basically zero out. There it is in psi. We have 28. (31 psi). I turned off the compressor so it wouldn't turn on and get our sound off, but it's fairly stiff. I think 31 psi is going to be good for what we need this thing to do. And we're all set. We're ready to roll. All right, I hope this was informative. I'll leave a link down below for the inner tube, and happy trails.